Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with a full review of the Orei UHD 401MV 4x1 HDMI multi-viewer. This product makes it incredibly easy for you to share the output from 4 different HDMI media devices on a single monitor at the same time, while still providing complete control over how that media content is organized on that monitor using the buttons on the front of the unit, the included remote control, or even through a connection with your computer. The product fully supports 4K ultra high definition media content at up to 60 frames a second, so you know it's compatible with all of your modern media gear. It's also HDMI 2.0B as well as HDCP 1.x and 2.2 compliant, which means it supports the widest range of media content, including copy protected content. The product also provides audio extraction capabilities where it strips the audio from the media content you're sharing and will convert that if needed to both analog and digital outputs that you can pass along to a soundbar or a home stereo for better quality audio. And one of the other hidden features of the product is, in addition to the fact that you can combine those outputs onto a single display, it also acts as a 4x1 switch where you can dedicate the entire display to a single output. So you have a lot of flexibility in how you use this product. Now, as part of this review, I always like to start with an unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and that way you'll understand exactly what you get if you buy the product. And then I'll take a closer look at the 4x1 multi-viewer, I'll explain the connections and indicators so you understand how to use it once you get it home, and then I'll actually come back and do a short demonstration to show you just how simple this product will be to use with your own equipment. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first pop open the box, you'll find the 4x1 multi-viewer. You'll also find a single DC power supply. You plug this end into any standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it with a locking collar. You'll plug that into the DC port on the back of the unit, and this provides all the power you'll need for operation. You'll also find a bracketing kit you can use to mount this up off the ground and out of the way if you choose to do that. There's also an RS-232 connection block that allows you to make that connection to your computer if you choose to control it from your computer. This just makes the wiring a lot easier. You'll also find an infrared remote control, and that's really nice because even though you may be close enough to make those selections from the buttons, it's nice knowing you can sit back on your couch if you have this set up on your media center and make those selections from quite a distance away. They've also included an infrared extender kit which plugs into the back of the unit, and if you locate this inside of a wiring closet or a cabinet where you can't actually see the remote receiver on the front, you can plug this into the back and put this outside the cabinet so you can pick up those remote control signals. Also included is a warranty card and a full instruction manual that lists connection diagrams, specifications, and a lot of other really important details about how to use this product that will help you get the best value you can out of the unit. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the multi-viewer, and then I'll come back and do the demonstration. The UHD 401MV features a full metal enclosure, which makes it incredibly durable and really the perfect solution for any consumer or commercial application. On either side of the cabinet, you'll find ventilation slots, and those are designed to let any heat that develops during operation escape to keep the electronics inside at a very comfortable temperature. On the front of the unit, starting on the left, you'll find a power button. That can be used to turn the unit on and off by simply tapping that button. When you add power to the unit and turn it on, it'll immediately start an internal power on self-test where it's checking all the electronics just to make sure everything's working okay. It's also checking the connection and resolution of your input devices and the connection and resolution of your monitor to make whatever adjustments are needed to give you the best possible picture. When it completes that self-test, it'll light the power LED letting you know it's ready to use. To the right of that are 5 more LEDs labeled 1, 2, 3, 4 and auto. Those first 4 indicate which of the inputs is currently active when you're in switch mode. If you're in multi-display mode, all 4 of those will be lit up. You can also put this unit into automatic mode by tapping this button right here. In auto mode, it'll select the input that was last used. To the right of that is an infrared receiver window behind this actual screen here, and that's where the infrared signals are picked up from the remote control. So if you locate this on top of a cabinet or on your computer desk, you want to make sure you can see that window. If it's inside of a cabinet or a wiring closet, you'll need to use the infrared extender kit that's included that plugs into the back of the unit, and I'll show you where that is in a minute. To the right of that are 4 more buttons labeled Auto, Input, Multi-Display, and Resolution. The Auto button puts it in automatic mode. When you're in switch mode, you can use the Input button to step through the 4 inputs and dedicate the entire display to that input. So again, it's sort of a dual function device where it can be a multi-viewer as well as a switch. To the right of that is the multi-display mode. When you tap that, it'll move into a multi-display where it's taking all of the inputs and displaying them on the screen, and you can tap that to walk through the 8 pre-programmed modes. To the right of that is a resolution button. Again, that's fully explained in the manual, but essentially you can adjust the resolution of the output display to accommodate a wide range of input resolutions. On the bottom of the unit, you'll find 4 rubber feet that are designed to keep it in place when you set it down. They also protect the surface, as well as mounting holes that can be used with the included bracketing kit to mount this up off the ground and out of the way. On the rear of the units where you'll make all your connections, starting on the left, you'll find 2 analog outputs and a digital SP-Diff output. This unit provides audio extraction capabilities where it strips the audio from the media content and it'll convert it to analog and digital, and you can connect this up to an older home stereo with RCA connections or a newer soundbar with an SP-Diff cable to get better quality audio. To the right of that is a single HDMI port labeled output that connects to the monitor you'd like to display the content on. To the right of that are 4 more full-sized HDMI ports labeled HD1, HD2, 3, and 4. Those connect to the media devices that you'd like to display in that monitor. To the right of that is an RS-232 connection port that can be used with the included connection block if you'd like to connect this to your computer to remotely control your choices. To the right of that is a 3.5mm port, and that's where the infrared extender plugs in. If you need to locate this again inside of a cabinet, plug it in there and locate that other end of it outside the cabinet. Finally, to the right of that is a DC input port. That's where the power supply that's included with the kit plugs in. You'll plug the barrel connector in here and tighten the collar to make sure it doesn't pop out. That's pretty much it for the unit. Now I'll show you the connections you'll need to make to use this product with your own equipment. And for this demonstration, over here I've set up 4 small media players. Each of them are displaying a different image just to make it easy to tell them apart. And these represent my 4 HDMI input devices. And these can be a DVD player, a game console, a cable box, or even a security camera, anything that outputs a standard HDMI signal. Over here I've set up a nice widescreen monitor as my output device. This is where I'd like to enjoy the content from my input devices. In front of me I have the 4x1 multi-viewer. Now the first set of connections I'll make are from my media devices to the multi-viewer. I've already connected HDMI cables up to the media players. I'll plug the other end of those cables into HDMI input 1, input number 2, input number 3, and finally input number 4 in the back of the multi-viewer. These are standard HDMI cables and connections. And now I can connect up my output device. I've already connected an HDMI cable up to the monitor, and that'll plug into the HDMI output port on the back of the multi-viewer. And now we're all set to add power. I've already plugged in the power supply. The other end of that cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs into the DC port in the back. And the minute I add power to the unit, it starts that internal power on self-test, takes a couple of seconds to make adjustments as needed for the input resolution versus the output resolution. And there you go, that's my first input. Now, one interesting feature of this product is it remembers the last setting you had on the product. So when I turned this off before, I had input number 1 being sent to the output, and that's what you'll see right here. So it's a single input, single LED on. Now, one of the display modes is to dedicate the entire display to any one of the 4 inputs, so it really is a multi-viewer and a switch at the same time. I'm in switch mode right now, so if I want to switch to a different input, I simply tap the input button. That's input number 1, there's input number 2, there's input number 3, and finally, there's input number 4. Now it also has 7 other multi-view modes that you can step into that display multiple inputs at the same time. And to go into multi-display mode, you'll tap the 3rd button right there. That's the first multi-display mode. It's one large image with a small image in the corner. I don't use that one often. The next one I use quite a bit. It gives you 2 side by side. So this is great if you're working on a computer and maybe you're sneaking in a show on your cable box at the same time. You're still working here, but you're watching other content. The next one, this is number 3, has got kind of a squashed image over here. And where I use this is when I'm working on my computer, maybe I've got a security camera out in the backyard and I'm watching a bird feeder or something like that. Kind of cool to have some content pop up next to it. Here's the 3rd one, or 4th one, sorry. 1 large one and 2 smaller ones. Here's the next one. 1 large one, even larger, and 2 smaller ones. This next one is really handy because it gives you all 4 of them at the same time. And that's great if you've got security cameras in the backyard, the front yard, the door. Maybe you're waiting for a package to show up. So it gives you all 4 inputs in equal quadrants on the display. Then there's one more, I believe, right here. Yep, that's a large display with the 3 off to the side. This one I use a lot with security cameras or things that I don't really need to keep an eye on, but I like to see what's going on. And that way I can work on my computer here and have those other inputs pop up over here. And then finally, you go back to single display mode. So what I like so much about this is, number one, again, it's a 60 frames a second resolution on 4K, which is really great because you can see that it comes up really quickly and it gives you the highest possible resolution on the display. I also like the fact that I can use it as both a switch and a multi-viewer, because there are times at my desk where I just want to switch between computers. This works great for that. But then there are other times where I want to have different HDMI inputs on the screen at the same time, and that's where the multi-viewer comes in. And it really is just that easy to get it working. I hope that closer look and demonstration were helpful. Now here are a few really important things to keep in mind when you're comparing the Orei UHD 401MV 4x1 HDMI multiviewer to other products you may be considering. The first thing has to do with resolution. This product fully supports 4K ultra high definition media content at up to 60 frames a second, which is one of the latest video standards on the market. So you know this will work with all of your modern media gear today, and if you've got older gear, you know this will work with anything you upgrade to down the road. The other important standard that you have to pay attention to is the HDMI certification. This product is fully compliant with HDMI 2.0b, and the reason that's important is because the HDMI standard has gone through a lot of changes in recent years, and knowing you're on one of the latest versions of HDMI means you can take advantage of all those advanced features. The HDCP certification is equally important because HDCP controls copy protection content. So if you're playing some modern media files, if you're not on the latest versions of HDCP, you may not be able to play those files. This one is both 1.x and 2.2 compliant, which is one of the latest standards for high-resolution media content. So having the HDMI certification and the HDCP certification be current means that this product will work with a wide range of different media gear and a wide range of different media styles. Another important feature is the audio extraction capabilities, and you may not find that in a lot of other units. And the reason that's important is because this product can actually digitally strip the audio for the media content being sent through it and convert that if needed to both analog and digital outputs that you can send to a home stereo or a soundbar for that theater quality sound. It's really nice that it does the conversion for you, and it provides two RCA connections as an analog output and an optical SP diff as a digital output. I also like the fact that they've included a remote control. A lot of these units provide buttons on the front and maybe a connection to your computer, but having an infrared remote control means that if you have this in a media center and it's quite a ways away from you, you can use the remote control to change the way the display is organized on your screen from your couch way across the room. They've also included an infrared extender kit, which again is another bonus because if you put this inside of a cabinet or a wiring closet, you won't be able to pick up those remote control signals. So having this receiver outside that cabinet by simply plugging it in the back means that you can use it, hide this away in a cabinet, not have to worry about looking at all those blinking lights when you're trying to watch TV. Everything you need is included with the kit as well, which I think is a big bonus. So you can basically open up the box, connect this up to your media gear, and just start using it. So all of those things being equal, I think it's a great unit. I've used it quite a while. I like it an awful lot. And if you've got a need to combine 4 different HDMI media sources onto a widescreen TV, maybe you've got a cable box you're watching and you've got some outside cameras that you want to have on the side of the screen for security purposes, this is the exact right product to use. So hopefully you found this review helpful. I've enjoyed doing it. And until next time, as always, stay nerdy.